Banu bebukalanga bata nani mawoko hango yetu yaputa muhalima. The very first week I came in Ireland, I was advised by people around that there is a place called the Donegal Volunteer Center where most people who are immigrants or who are coming from elsewhere,
all of us, we need Donegal Volunteer Center.
They will be asked to see if they are interested in going to touch base with the authorities there. We are talking of a song, but also a prayer as a believer. So it came a time when I noticed that in my country, Zimbabwe, and other countries surrounding, so they were experiencing either low rainfall or no rainfall at all.
Welcome to Northwest Podcast, produced by Coco Officials. Each week, we sit down with entrepreneurs, artists, community leaders, change makers, and we talk creativity, culture, and the journey of becoming. So, if you enjoy what we're doing, take just a second to subscribe to our channel. You can also support this podcast by buying us a coffee via the link below, or sponsoring an episode and proudly associating your brand with us. All the links are right below, and don't hesitate to drop us a message if you wish to be one of our guests. So, now let's dive into it. Hello guys, welcome to this new episode of Northwest Podcast. And my guest today is Future Ndebele, also known as Moyo. He's a musician, cultural ambassador, and community builder. So in today's episode, we'll explore his journey from Zimbabwe to Ireland and how one voice can spark a movement. Future, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coco.
It's a pleasure to have you on my podcast.
Thank you very much. And good evening or good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are, around the world. I feel delighted to be invited here in the Northwest podcast.
So, Future, let's start with your roots, okay?
Yeah.
What was life like growing up in Ghana, Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much for the question. Growing up in Ghana, Ghana is a small, beautiful village which is 25 kilometers outside what we call Plumtree town. So life there was amazing as I grew up with the community, with my elders, with parents. I count in a lot of things, including respect, harmony, festivals. I mean, people loving each other. I mean, traditional life, cultural life, and even church as well. So all these things coming together, they celebrate me and my entire, community growing up there. So it was amazing.
Yeah. So your family had a strong musical culture.
My family has got a strong musical culture. You are right.
Yeah. Can you describe those early moments of singing with your mother and siblings?
Thank you very much. So I have 4 siblings. So unfortunately, my dad passed away in 2016. My mom used to get us, myself and my siblings, to start singing every after dinner or supper, whatever you want to call it. So she would start a song, a religious song, preferable a church song. Then she would expect all of us to come in tune, in key, with the song, and sing harmoniously. Then if you didn't sing like in tune, in sync with the song, you became in trouble. She was the musical director. So I think she did that purposely, with the intention to, like every parent would be so proud if their kids were doing well. So she wanted us also to take it to the next level so that we can present in front of the congregation come the next Sunday. So it was very good. That's where my musical journey started, I would say.
So gospel music and faith seem to be to have played a big role in your early life.
That's very true. That's absolutely true, because we go to church again. So we are Christians. I'm from a Christian family.
What influence did they have on your character and creativity?
Of course, so coming from that cultural background, so to us, or to me, culture and tradition is something that is very, very important. So your question comes at a time when here in Donegal, we've just been celebrating like what we call a culture night. So the influence was way, too much, because it had to do with storytelling of how we are being brought up from within that particular society. So it was so influential in the sense that you look at the way people live, like from day to day basis, with due to respect, with due to everything that's done within the community. So everything calculated together, it brings about what we are talking about today, which is the cultural aspect of it.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your music? What kind of music do you do? Or?
So this is a beautiful question. So from early in the days when we started around early 90s, we started singing this type of music called acapella. In our own language, we call it Mbube music or Isqatamia. This is music.
Isqatamia.
Yes.
Isqatamia.
Yes, you are right. So this is music that was, or which started originally. It depends on how people put it into context, but we believe that it's the type of music sung by only men in most choirs. You can still find other choirs with a single woman or two women, but mostly it would be men. So these men in the early 1960s, 50s, they used to come to South Africa in a place called Johannesburg, which happened to be the it created a lot of jobs, like an economic hub during those years. So people would descend from all over Africa, especially in Southern Africa. They would go there to work in the mines. So it was in the mines when they were thinking of their beloved ones, the wives, the children back home. Then they would congregate and start singing with these different tunes. In this type of music, Isqatamia or Mbube music, you have like a few of the singing parts, which is you have your vocals, you have your tenor, you have your alto, you have your bass. So you find some men like singing like with a high pitch, like a lady. So we call it alto. So they will be like bringing into life all the richness and all the chocolate of the music, harmonizing everything. So it's the music that started way back then. Thank you.
Do you remember the moment when music became more than just a family activity for you?
Yeah, of course. With me, there will be a few groups that I can mention that like inspired me. The likes of our famous Black Umfolosi from Zimbabwe. It's called Black Umfolosi, yes. Then a number of other groups. Imbizo, Avangobi, Ilifalendulo. I'm talking of the groups that were there in the early days. Black Spee, Sunduza, there are a whole lot. Then you talk of the famous Ladysmith Black Mambazo in South Africa. So listening to all those songs and their music played an important role into my life. It was like something was injected in my blood. So I felt inspired, because also you would remember that their type of singing resonate with my life also as someone who is coming from that particular region. So because the songs and the music and everything tells a story about us as the people who are from that particular end.
In primary school, you and your peers began singing in the style of Imbube.
Imbube.
What does it mean, Imbube?
Imbube, it's a word that means lion.
Okay.
Ibubesi, they call it in a Zulu language. It means lion. So you look at the lion. So you find the men, when the men are singing this type of music, at some point, they'll be making noise like like the lion. Do you know how the lion like roars there in the forest? So you see, those are all these harmonic. Yeah.
So how did that take shape in your early years?
Oh yes. So you remember that we were transitioning from being a football team. If I were to go a little bit further, so we were coming from being a football team. So after being defeated, that's when our coach, our leader, our founder said, "No, guys, football is not good for you. So let's shift into music." But I didn't say I'm not a good footballer. So we just got beaten by a team called Dingumuzi. So every time I mention this, people laugh. So those who were there, it was a tough game. We're playing a very, very, very skilled team. So we were beaten and we were so disappointed. Then our coach said, "No, boys, pack down all your boots.
The football is not good for you.
Pack down all your boots. Then let's start something else." Then we started singing. That's how we came into this music life, singing this type of Mbobe music.
Oh, this was a good shift. Yeah,
I'm not sure if it was a good shift, but it was, of course, with what music has done to my life and others.
Yeah. And how did that choir eventually involve into Amavevane Acapella?
So you count from the way we were founded in 1996. Then what happened is in 3 years after, we were so fortunate to be, under the supervision or being helped by that famous group I mentioned earlier called Black Follows, who created a cultural exchange tour to the United Kingdom. We went to England in that year. So then we came back home. Then we performed in a number of places, weddings, birthday parties. We became so famous. Locally and even beyond. So just to fast forward the story, then some of our members had to chase other dreams. Some dropped down. Then I was left with a few. Then we carried on with the project. We were called White Umfolos by then. Then time came for us to, with different reasons, to move to South Africa. In South Africa, then I always put it this way, in our culture, when a son is grown up, they ask permission from their parents, more particularly their father, to say, "I'm now grown up, so can I move and have my own home?" So this is like what we did. So we said to White Follows, that previous group name, we said, "Oh, it's time to move and be independent." So we thought of the name Amavevane, which means butterflies.
Butterflies.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you've performed, as you mentioned, you performed in England, Israel, and all across Southern Africa. What did those international experiences teach you about the power of music? So
traveling around the world, especially with music, created a lot of opportunities. We were taught, or we were reminded about the importance of learning other people's cultures, tradition, even like the daily lifestyle through music. So collaborations again coming into effect. So the moment we met different artists, so we learned a lot about how to, conduct ourselves. So we respected each and everybody, irrespective of their culture, traditions, color of skin, race, etc. So traveling around the world and meeting different people reminded us that we might be different, but it is our differences that make us unique.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What values or cultural messages do you try to pass through your music?
So that's a beautiful question. What we are trying to do is also to preserve that particular culture. So by preserving it, we are singing songs that were even sung by our forefathers. So we are keeping, in this regard, we will be keeping our culture alive by preserving it through singing the songs that were sang back in the day. For example, we have this famous song by Amavevane that says, Pano bebukalanga bata nani mavoko hango yetu ya puta muha lima chebuka nemubone yechiache sachaswika shango yetu ya puta muha lima kubukalanga ndiku kanye kwetu kubukalanga ndiku kanye kwetu chozanazana chonanaila chonikumbutsa. So you see, we are preserving our culture through singing those type of songs. It's not even only songs, even some dances. There are a number of dances found in our Southern Africa and region that we do and other groups do to try and preserve.
Yeah. So you've been in Ireland for 3 years, almost 3 years now, especially in Donegal.
Of course, I'm here in Ireland, Donegal for 3 years.
For 3 years.
Yeah.
How did you adjust, like culturally and musically, to life in Donegal, especially in Letterkenny?
The very first week I came in Ireland, I was advised by people around that there is a place called the Donegal Volunteer Center where most people who are immigrants or who are coming from elsewhere,
all of us, we need Donegal Volunteer Center.
They will be asked to see if they are interested in going to touch base with the authorities there. Then I went there, I met this beautiful lady called Alison. Alison and John, who would be the manager at that time. So John Curran. So these are the people whom I first met in that particular office. Then they told me about a whole range of volunteering opportunities, of which I said to them, from what you have mentioned, I didn't hear you saying something about music. So they said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm talking about who I am. So I'm a musician. So is there anything to do with music here? They said, no. Bring it on. What have you have? What do you have? Like, what have you like in your head? So I told them the plan that my entire life is in music. So I'm a musician. So I would love to see something to do with music. So that's when they helped me to set up like a multicultural choir that sang, songs, of which that's how I met the other man whom I'm sitting with today. That's how we met, through music. I always say music connects people.
So what's this choir's name?
The choir's name that we started is called the Newland Choir.
Newland Choir.
It was welcoming people from everywhere in the world. There is a song that we composed. One of the first songs that we composed with the help of Rita. Rita was one of the, choir leaders, a lovely lady coordinating this whole choir. So the songs goes like, I can't remember it very correctly, but it goes like, we've come from far and near, our what?
Our spirit rise, our hands on fire.
That's the song. Singing in the Newland Choir. So that's how I got, all this going. So after introducing myself, then I found myself where I am today, with everybody everywhere trying to contact me and to learn more about what I do in schools, in community gatherings here. I'm always there. Amavevane Acapella is always there. That is me and representing my brand.
So how do you think the Newland Choir has been received by the community?
The Newland Choir, I think, is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, because in the sense that in that choir, you have people coming from all over the world. Like, it's so interesting to see people coming together with a good cause. So learning is part of integration, especially to those who will be immigrants and so on and so on. But now also it helps to get people to integrate to spend time wisely doing something which is good.
Yeah. So let's talk about Amavevane. What can you list out some of the projects that you've already worked on, and what was your favorite one?
Right. So I'm not sure if the question is based only here in Ireland or my entire musical life.
Here in Ireland, yeah.
All right. So talking of here in Ireland, I'll tell you what I'm involved. As you're speaking to me now, next Saturday I've been invited to go and perform in Convoy. Convoy here in Convoy is not far from Letterkenny. So it's an interesting project because it's organized by the DLDC, if I'm getting it correctly. It is one of those events when you meet also people, you learn their traditions and their cultures, you learn their songs, you see what they are displaying with regards to food, clothing, and etc. etc. So my key events or places that I can call them like as being positive ones or inspiring include my performance in schools, like I mentioned earlier on. So I'm performing around schools here in Donegal, so with different age groups, 5 to 12 or even 14 to 18, something like that. So I continue to share what they don't know maybe. And in some schools I found that there is like African kids more, coming from the very region where I'm from. So sometimes when I'm singing songs like Sholoza, Sholoza, Kulezo ntaba, Stimela, Simesi, Wenuya Baleka, Wenuya. So children will come and join me because they would know those songs. So I love those projects. I love them a lot.
One of your song was about rain in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
What's the title of this song, and what was this song really about?
Oh, yes. Thank you for the question. So this is the song I composed in 2023. The title of the song is called Prayer for Rain. Prayer for Rain.
Prayer for Rain. Yeah.
So we are talking of a song, but also a prayer as a believer. So it came a time when I noticed that my country, Zimbabwe, and other countries surrounding, so they were experiencing either low rainfall or no rainfall at all. So the rains were either late, very late, or poor. So as a result of animals, poor animals dying, people having to travel long distances just to, to source a bucket of water. So then I came up with this song. Then the song is called Prayer for Rain. So it should be the song that's mostly connected to the spirituality, African spirituality, so to speak. So it will be the song that will have like some drumming and some background singing, clapping, and everything, but all to do with the faith of being an African man. So you would remember very well that we come from those places where we believed that by doing this and that, all those traditions and rituals, then we will be praying to God. So it may sound a little bit different from Christianity, but at the end of the day, it's a special prayer in an African way.
So looking back, what do you feel most proud of in your musical and your community journey?
If I were to take a look back, I feel proud because not only myself, but my entire group, Amavevane Acapella members, because you'll remember, as I sit here, I'll be talking on behalf of my group as a whole. Group, yeah. So collectively, we have done a lot of amazing things. So we have inspired a lot of younger people who have abandoned or left street life, like having to take drugs and do other, numerous illicit things like robbing and stealing and everything, but also to get inspired that, you can assemble. We can assemble and become a group and still do something which is good. Projects that include music or some other things that, I can mention on and on and on. So I think we have inspired a lot of people to say, no, you can still do something, which is positive.
What's the next for you and Amavevane Acapella?
Of course, yeah. So this is just, as people, we live by dreams and with dreams. So it's just the dream, my dream that next year in 2026, God willing, my musical journey or our Amavevane Acapella will be celebrating we'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary in 2026.
Okay.
So we'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary. So that's our big next step. So I'm not sure how things will play around, but if you were to count like 30 years in music industry or doing the same thing, you can see it's a lot. So as a result, so many people came into our life to help us. To help us to move forward with what we are doing. Yeah. So as I'm speaking to you now, we have well-wishers who saw some of our projects. They looked at the school, the very school called Ngwana School, which is in my community where the group was formed 30 years ago. So some people have extended their heartfelt donations to the school children there, whom they saw in one of the videos that was circulating on social media. So the school children were singing that song. So, they did not have a choir uniform, school choir uniform and other instruments. So someone from based in the United States of America, her name is Ndaka Chikariro. So she said, no, I'm willing to contribute something to these kids so that they can, carry on with what they are doing. So would like to say thank you very much for that. So our next move now, we'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year. Yeah.
What message would you give to young people, especially those in the diaspora, about holding on to culture while embracing change?
The message would be very simple. Culture is very important. Don't be fooled out there if you are still young, growing up, and try to change your tradition or your culture. I would just say to them, stick to your culture, because your culture is your mother. Your culture is your God. Your culture is who you are. It's very important to know your culture. Of course, if you find yourself that maybe living in another different environment, it's also very important to respect other people's cultures as well. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So any last word you would like to leave us with?
My very last words is to thank this podcast, the Northwest Podcast, for inviting me here to come and share my musical journey, and also to say a big thank you to all our fans, the fans of Amavevane Acapella, former White Umfolosi, who have been with us from day one. From the early days when we were beaten in football until today. They haven't left us. They still supporting our music. Every time I post my music, my dances, my everything to do with music, they still supporting. So I'm saying to them, I love you all.
All right, guys, thank you for following us. We are at the end of this episode, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget also to share this podcast with your friends, your family, and don't stop listening to us. See you in the next episode.